happened to the good music?
I gotta play with it.
I'll do that for you tomorrow. I'm deleting this shit right out of your system. Need that twangy music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the Turn 3 Racing Network for the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model Spring Championship Race. Again, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's been a season and we are wrapping it up here tonight at Myrtle Beach. My name is Chris. With me, as always, my good friend Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, brother?
Hey man, doing good. I'm excited to be here down at the beach. Probably the only time I'm going to go to the beach this summer, Chris. So, pretty excited about this. And like you said, we crowned a champion tonight. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And look, we've got 4 drivers to kind of figure out who it is that's going to be that championship, Rick. And here we are. We got Jeff Dillon, Brian Hacker, Justin Riggsbee, and AJ Rogers vying for the championship here tonight. Jeff Dillon holds himself an 11-point lead over Brian Hacker. Justin Riggsbee is a 1 point behind. 10 points behind them, it's AJ Rogers. So it's tight, but I'd say if Dillon has a good race, this one might be all done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and right now, Chris, just recently, he just got knocked down to the number 2 spot during practice here, but Dillon very fast out here tonight at Myrtle Beach. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of great names there. I mean, you look at Brian Hacker right now running 3rd on the speed charts, Riggsbee in 6th, AJ Rogers down there in 12th. So very close, and it's going to be an interesting night.
So we'll keep an eye on those 4 gentlemen tonight. Of course, we came for a race, and that's exactly what we're going to see tonight. The Star Legacy Foundation 100 going to be the championship decider here at Myrtle Beach, Rick. And this little bull ring, it can tear you apart if you go down a little too much in those corners.
Well, that's the thing that these guys got to worry about. I mean, number 1, Chris, we're under the lights already. It's going to be a beautiful night here at Myrtle Beach. That air temperature, nice cool 69 degrees, track temperature only at 73. But yeah, you're right. I mean, when these guys come down into the corners, they got to watch out for them little turtle shells. Those things spell disaster. But these guys have raced it, this track before. I think we're in for a good championship race tonight.
Yeah, I do too. And then we're in the off season, and I'm ready for it, Rick. Let's try and get some summertime in, and that's exactly what this schedule was supposed to be for. It wasn't supposed to be for the pandemic. Some of these drivers not really able to drive in real life, and their pit crew obligations also not really there, but nonetheless, the season is done after tonight. Hopefully the real racing kicks back in very, very soon for every local market. It's something that we all cherish as race fans.
Oh, it definitely is. And that's one thing that I love how Andy did this. I mean, back when me and Andy first started racing for Chris, we tried to race every 12 weeks. We'd take a week 13 off, and then we'd go back and just start the next season and go and go and go. And that puts a lot of stress on drivers, a lot of burnout. And you're right. Andy, as a pit crew member of one of our local racer, actually our local racer that we're fans of, and a couple other guys that are out there that do real life stuff. It was nice to give those guys a little bit of a break during the summer to let them concentrate on that and then come back. But of course, there's a lot of cool things coming in on the off season. We got the Coffee Cup starting. That's going to be just a fun series. With Arca Cars going to be taking over Wednesday nights, which hopefully I'm going to be able to drive in. And, I know Troy over at RFC is doing some legend stuff on Tuesday nights, and lots of good things going on.
Yeah,
so
the Legacy Series.
Race, they can.
I can't wait for that. I'm going to be driving in that one on Tuesday nights. Starts next Tuesday. I have very little seat time, so I should be ready to go.
That's all you need. And we got another one of our good friends that hopefully will be joining us too. I mean, that's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah, pretty neat stuff coming up just around the corner here. Of course, unfortunately, the Legacy Series is not going to be broadcasted, so that's okay too. I'm ready to do a little bit of racing, so let's step on the other side.
Yeah, like I just said about the racers getting burnt out, Chris, you and I get burnt out up here in the booth too. It's not that we don't enjoy it. We love it. Sometimes the schedule gets kind of hectic. We kind of knocked ours down to where we were comfortable and happy, and we took a couple, one-offs throughout the summer and whatnot. But it's going to be good for us too. To now we get to kick back and we get to relax a little bit, and we get to do some driving and see the sim from a different side again.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to do once in a while. I want to thank everybody for coming on out to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Again, we're going to be watching the Racing for a Cause Super Late Models at Myrtle Beach Speedway for their championship race. This one should be good with just over a minute and left here of the practice. And we're going to jump right into the race. No qualifying, field is set. It's an inversion of last week's finishing, with the exception of those 4 drivers going after the championship. So it's going to be a fun night here at Racing for a Cause with 1 minute left here. Chris Stump, the man with the hot shoe during practice, his fast time around this little bull ring, a 17.978. Jeff Dillon, second spot in 18.031. Hacker in 18.032. So, Matthew Spinks in 18.043. They're a little close.
Just a little bit.
1/1000th of a second separating second and third. 1/1000th of a second separating third and fourth. Yeah.
That's the kind of racing that we like to see anyway.
Yes, it is. Robert, how are you tonight, bud? Good to see you back out there. Getting ready for some short track action. Little half-mile bull ring. Myrtle Beach is the site of excitement for tonight. And I think this is going to be a good one. It's going to be quick. That much we know.
It's gonna go really quick.
They should be able to bust out about 3 laps a minute, give or take, depending on how the tire model does here tonight. So, yeah, it won't be very long at all. And speaking of, we're getting ready to grid. All right, as we get ready to go, your pole setter for tonight's race, it's going to be the one of James Somke, to his outside, the 413 of Wayne McDuff III. Starting on the inside of row number 2, it's the 34 of Doug Wasaki, to his outside, the 85 of Jeff Stiles. Starting in 5th spot tonight, we've got the 36 of Michael Fravert, and to his outside in the 22, it's going to be Mike Holtzclaw. Andy Lambert picks up a 7th place starting position based on last week's finish. Mark Fravert in the 44 going to be to his outside, Rick.
And then starting in row number 5 on the inside, it's going to be the 10 of Travis Wright and the 94 of Troy Radford on his outside. Row number 6 going to be the 35 Matthew Spinks and the 18 of AJ Hamill. Row number 7 on the inside, the 98 of Chris Stump. Next to him, tonight's race presenter, the 99 of Justin Riggsbee on the outside. Row number 8 going to consist of the 11 of Brian Hacker and the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Row number 9 on the inside, the 17 of AJ Rogers and the 8 of Matt Vade on his outside. Row number 10 and bringing up the final position here tonight, Chris, that's going to be the 20 of Justin McDuff.
All right, so we've got 19 guys ready to go. James Somke, your race leader. Pace car about to drop off for the first time tonight to get these guys under the green flag. Coming out of turn number 4, waiting for the flagman to set the field free. The 1 gets the green flag, and here we go tonight.
Somke getting a really good start, Chris, and pulling out in front of everybody there. He's got Wayne McDuff III right there, knocking on the back door, looking on the inside just a little bit.
You might double check that, because that's the 34 of Doug Wasaki. Yeah. And Wasaki is there. Michael Fravert sitting in 3rd. Jeff Stiles 4th. And 5th spot, Andy Lambert's moved up a couple already. Holtzclaw blasts in the 6th spot with Wayne McDuff hitting the outside, and that's going to spell trouble because that gives Travis Wright an opportunity on the inside right now to the inside of 22. So Travis Wright making some moves early. He's bringing a 35 of Matthew Spinks along for the ride, and Chris Stump The 44 gets tight. He heads way out to the outside. That's Mark Fravert, and a whole host of cars go around him. But your race leader for the moment, Rick, it's James Somke in the 1 car.
Yeah, I don't know why my scoring did that. It was all in line. Then all of a sudden, you know, first and second place, or first place is there, and then second place is actually fifth place. I don't know. Doug Wysocki doing a good job. I apologize for that, Doug. You moved your way up, sitting there in second place, doing a great job. Oh, we're under caution.
Caution on the field, and it looks like, unfortunately, it's the 99 into the wall, though. The 20 involved. Like AJ Hamill might have been involved a little bit. Let's go back and take a peek. Justin Riggsbee to the inside in that purple vehicle. Tonight's race sponsor. Oh, the 18 had to check up hard. Left no place for anybody to go.
Yeah, Hamill was just kind of stuck there on the outside, Chris, trying to get around the 52 of Jeff Dillon.
Yeah, let's go back one more time here. So we're watching the 18 this time.
18 had to check up a little bit for the 413, it looks like, also.
Yeah, that he squeezes himself down, and maybe just not enough room there for the 99, the 20, the 44, the 8 of Vader, all involved with that one. Bet you AJ wants that one back, Rick.
Yes. And so does the Integrity King.
Yeah.
Had no place to go.
Yep, true. Back out live here at the bull ring. 7 laps down. Going to be 8 here in just a moment. Your race leader, James Somke, he's led the way through them all. Doug Wysocki was hot on his tail since the very get-go of this one.
And I want to give a nice shout out to the prototype racing guys down there. Of course, they got PBR on the hood, Chris. You know what that means, don't you? That's right. Rick got free beer from that team. So thank you.
Wow.
Hey, listen, you know, it's a championship race.
Yeah, it is. Let's do it.
And we're in the Lagoo Lounge tonight. I mean, you know, I try to keep the Hammond Hotel a little clean. But here, I mean, there's Miller Lite bottles everywhere, so I figured we'd bring some red, white, and blue in here too.
Well, yeah, there's some cans, no doubt about that. Pace car lights are off, getting set to go back under action less than a half a mile from now. James Somke lines up on the inside, Doug Wysocki to the outside. Somke's going to have his teammate Michael Fravert right behind him on this restart. Outside row 2, going to be Jeff Stiles. Andy Lambert has got that 5th place restart spot, and we are going back under the green flag. Look at the restart out of the 1 car of James Somke.
Now he's got his teammate right there behind him, the 36 of Michael Fravert, Chris. So those guys doing a heck of a job. Doug Wysocki sitting there in a strong 3rd place in that beautiful 34 car. And we're back under caution.
Caution on the track one more time.
It'd have been Hoskla.
Yeah, we got some blinking going on out of the 22 machine. I'm pretty sure that's where it was. Let's go take a peek. Right at the restart. And he blinks. And he's gone. Oh, and it's just a matter of people not being able to see him at that point.
Yep.
Heavy blinking going on. Can't help that. Back under caution we go. So not really the start these guys wanted here, Rick.
Oh, final race of the season here. These guys, they'll get it worked out though.
Let's take again a look at the 4 gentlemen that are going for the championship here. Jeff Dillon comes in as your points leader, currently being scored in 11th spot. Brian Hacker in 2nd spot, 11 points behind him. Brian Hacker currently sits in 11th position. Justin Riggsbee comes in third. Unfortunately, his night is done. And AJ Rogers comes in fourth place here tonight. And I'm looking, he's currently running in ninth position.
Those guys moving up through the field, Chris, as they can. Looks like 2 cars have called it quits here for the season, Chris. The 18 of AJ Hamill and the 20 of Justin McDuff.
Yeah, I think Riggsbee might be done too.
And Riggsbee, yep, Riggsbee's, last time I checked, he was on pit road, but now he is gone. So that car in the hauler too. So out of 19 drivers taking the field here tonight, we are now down to 16.
Yeah, in 15 laps. Pace car shuts the lights down. Rick, we're going to fold them up 2 by 2, getting ready to go back under the green flag here with just under a half a mile before we do. James Somke, your race leader, is outside, going to be covered by his teammate, Michael Fravert. Inside on the second row, going to be Doug Wasaki. To his outside, Jeff Stiles, that inside row. I expect it to move. Oh, except for we're going single file. Forget that whole thing I just said. We're going single file. James Somke bringing him around turn number 4, hits the gas pedal, and he is gone. What a restart.
You know, these drivers actually have a little bit of a gentleman's agreement out here tonight so far. It's been held up fairly well with Somke leading the field, Chris, on every restart so far. Andy asked the guys, since the pace car goes in a little early here at Myrtle Beach, to wait until they get to the exit of 4. And if you can see, the next time they go around, I know that they're heading into turn number 1 and 2 now. But there is a line, and I think that line's pretty much in every oval here at iRacing. So that's basically iRacing's way of having the restart zone where that starts. So Somke doing a good job waiting until he hits that line, and then he goes.
Single filed all the way back to about 8th spot where Chris Stump, actually just ahead of Chris Stump, Brian Hacker in 7th spot, trying to get to the inside of the 35. Hacker knows he's got to move. He's got to be at the front of this one to have a shot against Jeff Dillon, who's currently sitting in 10th position.
And I'm not sure if you're seeing it on your screen, Chris, but the Hacker, he's in a different paint scheme this week.
Yes, he is. I actually questioned that during practice a little bit in my mind, and I zoomed in on the car. It says Hacker on it, so it's definitely his paint job.
It is. And it looks good too. I mean, I do like his regular paint scheme that he has. We're under caution. Might be Chris Stump.
Yeah, Stump kind of facing the wrong way on the track. Let's go back and see what happened to Chris. Coming down into 3. Oh, AJ Rogers tries to take position. And Chris, I don't think he saw him there, Rick, because he came right down into him. So here we are under caution again. Chris Stump going around a little bit that time by. Off from the nose of the 17 machine. Well, the 3 remaining drivers that are in the chase running nose to tail here.
And that's being led by Brian Hacker and his 11 machine in 7th place, the 52 of Jeff Dillon in 8th, and AJ Rogers in the 17th. I think Rogers, I mean, he didn't want to be stuck on that outside, Chris. So once he had a chance to kind of cut down into the, well, not into, but to try to make a pass on the 98 there. And I think you're right. I think Chris Stump's spotter maybe just didn't see him in time. But Chris Stump and AJ Rogers right now heading down pit road.
Yeah, Rogers coming down to serve his penalty out. Always have to blame the spotter. I mean, come on.
It's
Drivers
always
don't
the
make
spotter.
mistakes.
I mean, listen, I mean, you know, Myrtle Beach is a great track, Chris, but it is small. It's just over a half a mile. And I mean, it's plenty wide enough, but really the racing groove down on the bottom up towards the middle, and that is it. And you know, Rogers just thought he had a clear shot there, and spotter just didn't catch it in time. You can't fault either driver. They're just trying to do their thing, especially AJ Rogers. He needs to get up there. I mean, he's running for a, you know, a championship spot right now.
Yeah, you gotta go. You know, you got a championship on the line. Your throttle really only has two positions, on and off. It's very binary at this point. Meanwhile, James Somke up front. He's led every single lap here so far.
You're right, Robert.
All right, so we are folding them in 2 by 2, getting ready to go back into the green flag. Inside row 1, James Somke, his teammate Michael Fravert to his outside. Doug Wasaki, Jeff Stiles making up row 2. Row 3 is going to be Matthew Spinks and Andy Lambert as the pace car jumps down onto pit road and they turn through turn number 3, getting ready to go. And we are under the green flag here once again from Myrtle Beach.
Somke that time by Chris tried to do something a little different. He got on the gas just a little bit earlier there as they were coming out of 4. He didn't even wait till the front bumper got to the line.
Oh boy, here we go. Brian Hacker hard into the wall. Dylan was able to make it through. James Somke on that one, Rick, did something I can't approve of. I know what he was doing, and I know he was trying to help his teammate out. But man, did he woe up the field doing it. Well, let's go back and take a peek. We're going to go through the whole lap. And I'm going to go back a little further. All right, let's watch this restart. So you've got the one of James Somke's to the inside. You know we got some team communications going on out there. And the 36 says, look, I'm on the outside. I'm going to need some help. The 36 gets a good jump, and the 1 is hanging back. How do I know he's hanging back? Because we've seen him restart already. Classic team move. And the 34, I think, took a little exception to it, Rick.
You know, I think you're right, Chris. And I mean, what I'm not understanding, though, is why did Somke do that? I mean, okay, I understand that he wanted to let his teammate in, but I think that could have played out a little bit different.
Uh-huh. The rule of thumb is if your teammate can't get around you at the line, you go.
Right.
And he didn't go. He was hanging up, checking up, and Doug just couldn't do it. He just couldn't check up anymore without having somebody get into his rear end. So, yeah, it's unfortunate because we had 2 drivers that are going after the chase that were involved in that one. AJ Rogers once again, and Brian Hacker was involved in that. Jeff Dillon was able to get through, so he's running in 4th spot right now.
I mean, I could understand that move, Chris, if we had, you know, 5-6 races left to go this season. You know, let your teammate get out there to lead some laps, get, you know, a couple bonus points maybe.
Yeah, that one was truly unfortunate. Didn't have to happen.
As we see the one of Somke coming down pit road, Chris, to serve his end of line penalty. Actually, he's pulling it right into the pit. He's got some damage on that car. I think he might be a little disappointed in himself right now, too. Gets a little splash of gas. He's back out there. Well, new race leader, though. The 36 of Michael Fravert. Jeffrey Stiles next to him in second. Matthew Spinks having a fabulous night, Chris. I'm glad he was able to come out here and finish up the season.
Back under the green we go. Fravert, first one across the line. Jeffrey Stiles, Matthew Spinks, Jeff Dillon, Travis Wright, your top 5. Troy Radford has made his way up into the top 10, running in 6th spot. Chris Stump has recovered from that earlier on incident. Stump running the 7 and 90 in 7th spot in his number 98. Wayne McDuff, Andy Lambert, Doug Wasaki rounding out the top 10. And right now, Mike Fravert, your race leader. Coming out of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. The 85 looking to try and close in on Fravert. And he is a little bit every single corner. The 85 a little bit faster.
That 85 looks good out there too, Chris. I like the colors that he has on that. Thing's almost glowing there with the bright red / orangey color. And of course that yellow and red car there, Matthew Spinks. I love that car.
Matt running in 3rd position, and he is catching the 85. As Jeff Stiles may be running a little bit tight out there, pushing up in the center of the turns, just like that. Off the wall, Matthew Spinks takes evasive action, goes to the inside, takes over 2nd spot. So the 85 was looking good there for a minute and got tight. And Spinks made him pay.
And tonight's front runner for the championship, Chris, the guy who's leading the field so far in points, the 52 Jeff Dillon, right behind that 85, just waiting for him to maybe make a mistake. He's got T. Roy Radford in the 94 machine right behind him, rounding out that top 5. Chris Stump has recovered from his little incident there. He is running in 6th position. Travis Wright right behind him in the 10 car in 7th. Wayne McDuff the 3rd in the 413 running 8th. Andy Lambert in the 72 9th, and Doug Wysocki sitting out in the top 10. Ryan Hacker in the 11 car sitting in 12th. Chris actually coming down pit road right now. Something definitely not happy. I mean, Robert said it. Bad day for Hacker. Mark Fravert able to take over the 11th position. Hacker right now in 12th. Getting ready to go a lap down as the cars come across the line. James Tomke rounding out the field right now in 13th position, Chris.
Back up front, it's Michael Fravert, your race leader. The 35 of Spinks hasn't been able to catch him up at all. 0.3 of a second is the distance between 1st and 2nd spot. The 85 Jeffrey Stiles hanging on that 3rd spot. Here comes the 94 of T. Roy Radford. Troy trying to get involved in this race with that lucky Finn Foundation number 94. Jeff Dillon, your points leader coming into tonight. Pretty much looking like a surefire thing here, Rick, at this point in the race.
Well, you know, Chris, we started here with 19 cars out there on track right now, and 2 of the championship contenders are actually out of it. The 17 of AJ Rogers has left the field, packed that car up into the hauler. Mike Holsklaw's out there. Justin Riggsbee, another one there, tonight's race presenter. And that 99, he's done. And of course, Justin McDuff, AJ Hamill, early endings tonight here. Matt Bates still sitting on pit road, Chris, and I know what he's doing. He's like, hey, listen, if I just stay here. I mean, if he could go out and do a couple of laps, he's going to gain a couple of positions. Not that it matters too much here at the end of the season, but I bet you he's sitting there having a nice cold beer, watching some Integrity Farms.
Matthew Spinks, Rick, has caught the back bump. Your race leader goes to the inside into turn number 1. we may be setting up for a new race leader here in just a little bit, because Spinks is definitely all over the 36. Matthew Spinks looking on the inside one more time. The car definitely handling a little bit better than the 36 at this point. Way tight is the 36. He goes way high. Can't stay with him. And the 35 takes over the race lead. Matthew Spinks brings it to the front, and here comes the 94. He's made his way up into third position.
Yeah, and Pravert, if he's not, careful, Chris, I mean, he's got Jeff Dillon looking right now on Troy Radford, but Troy Radford right there is just waiting for that 36 to make a little bit of a mistake so he can get around and capitalize too. Now, Matthew doing a great job. Hopefully Brad was able to hang out here tonight. I know he said that last week might have been the final race that he can watch for the season. But right now, Matthew Spinks taking over the lead. Chris doing a heck of a job out there in the 35.
Yep. Matthew out in front, and he's starting to pull away just a little bit. The 36 had a rear bumper full of the 94 right now. T-Roy looking to try and get to the inside. He does. Cuts that car down to the inside. T-Roy Radford through turns 1 and 2 goes door to door with Michael Fravert. Can't quite hold him on the backstretch. Down into turns 3 and 4. What's the 36 going to do? He tries to hold it down low. He's able to that time through the 94. It's still there, going through 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, some good racing going on right now, Chris, through those with those guys down through the backstretch. And Jeff Dillon right there in the 52. He's trying to go with Troy Radford. He wants to make sure that when Radford clears that he is right there to try to put some more pressure on Fravert to try to take over that spot.
Troy Radford gets around. Here comes Dillon now. The 52 of Jeff Dillon looking to go around the 36 of Fravert. And I don't think we're done yet, because Chris Stump now to the inside. Stump, who worked his way back from earlier caution, is now trying to take over the 4th spot, and does. Rick on the inside. Coming out of turn number 4, that pass is complete. So your race leader is Matthew Spinks. Brad, I see you out there. I'm glad you're able to see this one. Matthew Spinks up front, and he is building up himself a lead. 9/10 of a second now over T-Roy Radford. And Jeff Dillon, your points leader coming into tonight, is looking to lock up that championship with 45 laps to go. Jeff Dillon sitting in the top 3. So Spinks out front, trying to get one in before the season is coming to an end. And he is doing a good job here so far, running that car up in first spot. He's led 9 laps here so far. Make it 10 as he crosses the start finish line, heading into turns 1 and 2. He's taking a slightly higher lane, almost making this track into a little bit of a diamond. That's telling me these cars are a little tight here tonight, but so far he's handling it well. The 94 looking on the inside, trying to hold on a position. Can't do it. Jeff Dillon goes around on the outside. So Troy, I think Troy probably knows Dillon is the points leader. May not have wanted to argue with that situation too much, as the 94 lets it go.
Well, that's the kind of racer that Troy Radford is, Chris. Very clean, very competitive, but very clean. And he always has a lot of respect out on the track. So I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you nailed that right on the head, Chris. I mean, he knows that Dillon's going. He's trying to lock it in. And nobody wants to be the guy that messes that up.
No. No. Although at this point, no, we're not quite there yet. In about 19 more laps, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, you're right.
Closest competition, Brian Hacker on pit road, 22 laps down. And speaking of close, nobody is close to this man right here. The 35 is your race leader. He's got a second gap over Jeff Dillon. Brad or Matt Spinks looking great. Brad, you got to be having a smile on your face, buddy, because man, is he running it hard tonight in that number 35.
Now, I know we're trying to crown a champion tonight here at Myrtle Beach, Chris, with the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model Spring Series, but Andy, always the guy that wants to just work and keep going, has already posted the schedule for the Super Late Model Fall Championship. That should be starting back up at around September 9th. Of course, things could change, but that's where he's looking at right now. September 9th, we're going to be, I'm sure, broadcasting from New Smyrna Speedway. And he's got some good tracks on here this season, and my payoff that I gave him worked out because I'm looking. We got New Smyrna, Irwindale, the Bullring, North Wilkesboro. That's going to be fun. Okay, I mean that'll definitely be out. Nashville Fairgrounds. That's going to be fun. Something new that we haven't seen yet on iRacing. Stafford, Thompson, Langley, Myrtle Beach again. Martinsville at night under the lights, Chris. That's going to be in November. That's going to be cool. And then Five Flags, and then ending it out at Nashville Fairgrounds again, as long as that track comes out in time for 200 laps, finishing out that season in December, man. And if you noticed, there was no New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I caught that. Huh.
Okay.
Well.
That only costed me $200. And it was worth every cent.
Matthew Spinks up front. The gap is starting to fluctuate a little bit as Jeff Dillon is trying to reel him in, but almost 1 second. 1 second now is the gap. So Spinks is holding on, but now the question becomes, can he hold on for the next 32 laps? We're going to find out here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Got to thank everybody for coming on out and watching here tonight. This is Racing for a Cause Super Late Models Championship race here at Myrtle Beach. And Star Legacy Foundation 100 was the call. Thank you to Justin Riggsbee for sponsoring tonight's race for the Star Legacy Foundation. Third spot, Troy Radford, who, about 20 laps ago, let Jeff Dillon by in the 52, was able to hold on from a hard charging Chris Stump. Now he's got himself about a half a second gap between himself and Stump. So Troy Radford looking to hold on to third position. Travis Wright in the 10 is running in. Oh, the 36 comes in behind, and Travis Wright goes around. Caution on the field. Matthew Spinks did not want to see that one. All right, let's go back. The 10 to the inside, takes position over. The 36 tries the crossover and misjudges. And the 10 goes into the wall. So under caution. Yeah, Brad, I think it is too. It's getting, it's looking like it's a little tight there. Ten drivers remaining of the 19 that started. Oh, Robert, that works both ways, bud. Got to give us something to do here.
Both Chris and I are glad that you're enjoying it, man. I mean, we started this out, it seems like years and years ago. Found out that we actually liked broadcasting a little bit more than racing, so we took a little bit of a break from our racing duties over at Racing for a Cause, the broadcast. Of course, we started out with Racing for a Cause TV, and then we moved to Catamount Racing Network. And ended up here at Turn 3 with some outstanding broadcasters. It's not just Chris and I anymore. So don't only look for Chris and I mean, we have some fabulous broadcasters. We usually have something going on in some form on Turn 3 Racing Network every single night of the week.
26 laps to go. I was kind of thinking that myself, Brian, but well, you had a good run, bud. All right, pace car lights are gonna drop off. Looks like we're folding in 2x2, and this is one thing that actually may help Matt Spinks a little bit here. That inside line, so much better than the outside lane. He should be able to get a good jump. Watch for that second row. Troy Radford, Chris Stump. They're going to be looking to move. .35. It's the go pedal. We are back into the green flag, and that is the stump, or excuse me, that is the start that Spinks wanted. Troy Radford backs it out. Troy Radford wants nothing to do with anything that happens up front. I can't blame him one bit. The 52 trying to get to the back door of the 35, and Jeff Dillon looking to try and not just win the championship race, but he is trying to win the championship. The 52 in second spot, trying to reel in that 35 to pull the win here tonight and put the nail in the coffin for this season.
You know, Brian, that's you know, I get that. I very much understand that. And that's the great thing about you guys taking the summer off. I mean, get with Andy. I know you guys have that Facebook chat, so use it and try to figure it out. I mean, it's been a great season up until tonight. I mean, like you guys said, I mean, looking at it right now, 10 cars are running right now, Chris. Matt Bade, the 11th car, is still sitting out there on pit road. But only one guy that is in the championship race right now is, well, he's sitting in second place.
20 laps to go, 19 when we cross the start finish line. All eyes on the 35 and the 52, running first and second on the track. The 52 going for a championship here tonight, and that has actually been locked in. That is a foregone conclusion at this point. And Matthew Spinks definitely getting tight out there, Rick.
Yes, he is. Dylan creeping up towards the back bumper there of the 35, but Matthew Spinks doing everything he possibly can right now.
Spinks looks like he's a little better in 1 and 2 than he is in 3 and 4.
And you know, Brian, honestly, I mean, I don't know how you really felt about it, but if I had to say, I would bring back the heat racing, because I know Chris did too, we really enjoyed that here. It was something a little different. But of course, there's so many different ways that you can do it. You can just open up regular qualifying again. You can do open qualifying, single car qualifying. You can hold a 20-minute race during the week to set the field.
Oh, the 98 comes off the wall. Chris Stump trying to make it go, and that car is also getting tight. But look at Jeff Dillon just holding it down to the bottom, being very patient with that 52 machine. And I think he probably knows he can afford to be patient at this point.
Well, yeah, Chris. I mean, he's already, you know, it's locked in. You got what, 13 laps for? Yeah, 13 laps left to go.
Ooh, the 52 had a good run. Tries to go to the outside, not going to make it work, but man, he had a run coming into turns 3 and 4. The 30.
It's like Dylan's trying something new, Chris, because he's right there. I mean, okay, he fell back in there. I was like, I wonder
He just had a really big head of steam, had to pop it out to the outside so he didn't get into the back of Matt Spinks. Next time by, flagman gonna put 2 outstretched hands indicating 10 laps to go.
Yeah, the heat racing, I mean, it was a lot of fun. That's the good thing about Andy too. He wants to, try to make things interesting. He's not afraid to try something new. Try to give you guys something a little bit more, and I know if it won't work, he will make a change. That's for sure. Because he spot with me quite a bit there during the beginning of RFC, and it was all good too.
Oh, Dylan gets into the wall. The 35 gets loose, and it's 3 wide going into turn 3. Chris Stump out of nowhere takes over the race lead. Wow.
Wow is right.
With 8 laps to go, Chris Stump, your new race leader after going 3 wide here at Myrtle Beach. Stump trying to make it back to back here, Rick.
Chris Stump hasn't had the season that he and what we expected of him, Chris. So, starting to turn on the last couple of races. Unfortunately, not going for a championship this season, but do good in the last 2.
Wasn't here for the last, or for some of the races this season either. Yeah, so.
But I know it's good to see Matthew Spinks up there, Chris. I mean, he's had a heck of a night here tonight. He deserves that.
Wow, I'm still trying to get over 3 wide at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, and the super lates, man. It's been
wow.
Three laps left to go next time by.
Chris Stump leads the way on the backstretch.
He's got a pretty good line both through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, Chris. He's really hitting his marks there. Involved in an earlier caution, raced his way back up through. Dylan got a little close there that time by to those turtle shells. Gotta be careful, they'll knock the oil pan out.
Yes, they will. White Silk is in the air for the very last time this season, heading through turns 1 and 2. Your race leader, Chris Stump, looking to try and take away the race win. Jeff Dillon in second spot, trying to take the championship. Stump out of 4 across the start finish line. Your race winner, Jeff Dillon, second spot, your champion of the season. And Matthew Spinks with a strong finish in 3rd position.
And we got the 85 and Jeffrey Styles coming in 4th. Travis Wright in the 10 and 5th. Troy Radford in 6th. Doug Wysocki finishes the 34 tonight in 7th. Andy Lambert in 8th. Good run by Lambert there. Michael Frabert in the 36th, 9th, rounding out the top 10. Mark Frabert. And then you had Wayne McDuff the 3rd. James Somke. Brian Hacker finishing in 13th. AJ Rogers in 14th. Mike Holsclaw in 15th. Justin Riggsbee in 16th. Matt Bates still out there doing his thing. Going to be finishing in 17th position. Justin McDuff and AJ Handel rounding out the field.
So Stump is your race winner tonight. Your champion going to be Jeff Dillon. Matthew Spinks comes home in 3rd spot. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we're going to come back for some post-race interviews. Don't you dare go away, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. we are back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Your top 3 cars sitting on track. Let's waste no time at all. Let's get Matthew Spinks, driver of number 35. Matt, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you.
All right, bud. Well, listen, you ended up leading 44 laps of tonight's event. Not a bad way to go out. Turn 3, you had 3 wide action there. I didn't think that was possible on here.
No, I was trying to keep Dylan out as far as I could on his entry and just stay out a little too far when we got together. Congratulations on him on the championship. I wish we could have run the full season, but work wouldn't let me. I think we could have had a shot at it this season, the way we run these 7 races we got to run, but it's the way it goes. I
think you're right, man. I think you would have had something this season, and every season you seem to be just a little bit better, and it is definitely coming for you, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate you on the season, and congratulations on a top 3 finish here tonight. Anybody on the 35 machine that you need to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank all my sponsors: Attitude Graphics, SP Carburetor, Spink Southern Specialties, MGM Specialties, RaceTrophies.com, Phelps Plumbing, my spotter, Rob Waddell. He does one hell of a job spotting. He's probably one of the best in the business, and everybody that comes out and watches.
Oh, man. Again, congratulations, Matt, and thank you very much, bud. It may not have been a full season, but it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, the 35, Matthew Spinks, bringing it home in 3rd spot. Going to change the order up a little bit, and I believe that Rick got a chance to talk to your race winner here tonight, the 98 of Chris Stump.
Hey, Chris Stump, you got Rick and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, what's happening, guys?
Hey, man, congratulations there. A little rough race for you, but you pulled it out.
Yeah, a lot of impatience, it looked like early on. I know AJ Rogers and I got together. I haven't seen a replay, so I'm not really going to comment on it quite yet. But yeah, this is usually a place you kind of sit back and let the race come to you. But other guys had other plans.
Well, that happens, and it's the championship race. There was a lot of emotion there tonight. And but you did it, man. You had a little bit of an issue there at a caution. You worked your way back up through. So that 98 looking pretty good, man. Congratulations on winning.
Yeah, this is one of those times rather be lucky than good. And I had a 4th place car, and luckily Troy had an issue on a restart, and then Jeff and Matt got together there on the back stretch. But yeah, just kind of lucked into that one.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, listen, you won the last race here of the season. You went back to back too. That's pretty cool. Anybody on that 98 you want to thank?
Yeah, I think Justin Riggsbee, his foundation, Star Legacy Foundation, for sponsoring tonight's race. As always, humanizing the badge. So on our car, go check them out. My Empire Racing teammates had a pretty rough night with AJ Hamill and Justin. Had to bail out pretty early, but want to thank Andy as always for putting this on and not putting up with crap. Does a good job keeping things together, and want to thank you guys up in the booth.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you, and congratulations once again. Enjoy the off season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And that was the driver of the number 98 getting it done for the very last race of the season. And Rick, that's going to give us just one more guy to talk to. He finishes in 2nd place tonight, but more importantly, we call him champion. Jeff Dillon, driver of the number 52. This is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Well, bud, first of all, let's get tonight's race out of the way. It was a bit of a barn burner. You ended up working your way up into 2nd spot. You went 3 wide at one point in turn number 3, and it was a race, man. You worked your way through the field. Let's talk about that part first. How white knuckle was that driving?
It was pretty intense. I think I missed 3 wrecks there. And especially that last one got pretty close to me. So I really just lucked out on getting past those. And unfortunately, Brian, AJ, and And Justin got caught up in those, but luckily I missed those, and it put me in a good spot for the second half of the race.
Yes, it did, in an eventual second place finish. But more importantly, tonight, you have been crowned yourself a champion, bud. How does that feel?
Feels good. It's been a few years since I won a championship. I won a couple of season championships, but not a playoff one. So to actually do that here is pretty awesome. It's a good group of guys here and fun racing. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been fun all season long, Jeff. Who do you got on the 52, bud, that you need to thank?
Well, I think a walk for Apraxia. My son has Apraxia, and I actually reached out to them, and they gave me approval to run their logo on the hood. So it's pretty cool to let me do that. I can thank Matt, Travis, and Zach for telling me about this league, and they had me run with you guys, and Andy for putting the show on, and you guys for broadcasting it online.
All right, bud. Well, I don't know. I mean, it was a good season. Obviously, you're the series champion now. Is there anything else that you need to say before we close this one out?
Well, I just appreciate everyone here and all the drivers for racing me clean, and you guys are putting on a good show. It's always fun to go back and watch the races from a different point of view, and yeah, look forward to being back here in the fall.
All right, bud. Well, listen, man, congratulations again. Second place tonight, but more importantly, you've been crowned champion here in Racing for a Cause, and it was a heck of a lot of fun watching that happen. And Rick, that's going to do it here for Racing for a Cause all the way up until fall.
Yeah, I mean, now we have our Wednesday. Well, not really open. I mean, like I said, I'm going to be racing in the Copy Cup League that's going on with the ARCA cars. I'm going to try to. I know we have a couple of one-offs, but it's looking pretty good for the summer, man. It's been a joy. Obviously, I want to thank Andy and all the guys over at Racing for a Cause for inviting us back for another season, and I look forward to the fall.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. But until then, Wednesday nights for you and I, well, we're not going to be broadcasting. So we will see you guys again this fall right here on a Wednesday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Can't thank you enough once again for coming out and supporting us. Make sure you check out all the action that we offer here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Either Rick or Nime, Roger, KR, the list goes on and on and on. But we are definitely not going to be that far away here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you very much. We will see you next time.